Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. In today's video I want to show you how to set up a no-dig garden. This is about 18 feet by 18 feet. I don't recommend going more than 20 by 20 on this design because I'm going to show you how to use these U-posts, T-posts to set up a deer fence that is deer resistant. This is what the space will look like when you're done. If you're starting your first no-dig garden, 2 layers of cardboard over the growing space, 4 to 6 inches of compost over the top. That's what you would grow into. That's enough depth to really start growing if you wanted to right away. And again, quality compost. This is my 3rd year for this space, so I'm just adding in another 2 to 4 inches of material. I'll go over the materials. This is leaf grow, composted material. It does really well. You're also going to want some sort of gate in your design. This is kind of expensive right here. I'll go over that at the end, towards the end of the video. Or you can make something just like this, where this just loops over, links. I'll also show you how to amend this with alfalfa pellets, organic granular fertilizer. I know it's difficult to make a lot of compost, so maybe you want to amend something into the soil so that you give your plants a boost. That'll work perfectly fine. I'll show you that as the video progresses. Just wanted to show you where we're going with this. So this is nice to not have to do the work to dig the earth. It's a nice large space, great for a family of 4. You can grow a lot in here. And the setup for the fence works really well to deter the deer from coming in. In 2 years, I've never had a deer walk into here. I've also expanded it from here all the way over to here. So let me get this cleaned up. I'll talk about the principles, show you the fence, and just give you an option for creating a low-cost garden space with some deer protection. I like this fence design because it's almost invisible to the eye. As you walk in closer, you'll be able to see the black polycord that's going across. So I recommend getting some sort of polycord or material that's not going to decay from the UV rays of the sun. You put a couple of bells on each level. I have to go get some more because I restrung this, so that if the deer come, they press against this, it startles them. They have trouble seeing things up close. It's going to be hard for them to see this. So when they bump into it and hear sound, it's going to freak them out and they're going to back off. You want to keep the space, again, about a 20 by 20 so that deer aren't going to say, well, I'll just jump into here. When it's a smaller space, just like people, they don't want to jump into something where they're not sure where they're going to land, or if there's risk to injury. Especially if you have some structures up like this, they're going to stay away. Anything that grows outside of it, is fair game to the deer, but this will really kind of repel them and give you an opportunity to get to your harvest so the deer don't really roll by. This is the cheapest way to build the gate. I got these, let's see if I can pop that off, for $1.25 at Home Depot, and they just clip right back to where you started. This will keep the deer from walking in. Starving deer, they're going to try and jump in here and they're going to try and get in here. You can do something more elaborate with this type of gate, and they just come in sections, and each section basically comes with this. It goes into the ground, the fence sits right on top of that. Drop that back in there. So there's one setup. Here's the walking space right through here, the mounded compost, and you would just plant right into there. If you don't want to set something up like this, you could just drop boards right down the middle and you could walk through there. You're going to want the spaces in here to not be more than 4 feet wide so that you can stand either on the planks, 2 arms go in, they can tend to that space, you're not walking in it, or you come down to here, 2 feet length of arms, can get in there and tend to it, and then you can get to the other side of this mound. I didn't dig anything in here. It's really effective. It does work, and the principle, is sound. It works. 2 layers of cardboard, 3 layers of cardboard. If it's windy, soak it down. You put on 4 to 6 inches of material. If you can get to 6 inches, that's great. If it's well broken down compost, most plants are going to grow in that shallow 4 to 6 area worth of the soil anyway, so it gives a great place for the roots to grow. And the deeper roots, once that cardboard is wet, will go right through that into the existing soil. Everything will be nice. Over time, earthworms will mix everything together, and this will just become a better and better growing area for your garden. 20 by 20 really is a lot of space, so this is perfect to get started. You don't have to put a lot of work into it because you're just putting down layers. It may be costly to get compost. You probably have to order it for a large space to get started. A lot cheaper to go through landscaping companies, but you're not paying for the construction of framed raised beds or anything like that. So the money's really going into the quality compost. A couple of T-posts or U-posts are anywhere from $3 to $5. Some polycord, some bells, and a gate setup, and you've really created a place that's resistant to deer, and you can start growing really quickly in this type of setup. I mean, you just walk in, get your cool weather crop started. It's the end of February now, and then you progress through the season. All right, let's get to the alfalfa pellets. The granular fertilizer, that's something you can use in your no dig. Maybe you're using like 50% compost, 50% earth. You just want some better quality fertilizer amendments in here. I'll show you how to do that. And you can also use that in your raised beds, other earth beds, and other designs. And just remember, there's 1,000 ways to take care of your garden beds. If you have perfect compost, you can just use that. Top dress, side dress, refresh with compost, but we all don't have that. So this is how it would look putting down alfalfa across here, the organic granular, more heavily handed right down the middle if you feel like you need more in your garden, or something like this where the alfalfa pellets are pretty much equally thrown on both sides, but I used a little bit less organic granular fertilizer here. Again, this is in combination with compost. This is going to be a really rich bed for the plants. I will let this get rained on. When I go to plant in here in a couple of weeks, in a month, I will work this into the top couple of inches, and then I will plant my seeds or my transplants. But this is how it looks. You know, I'm just going to let this sit, let the rain take care of it, and hopefully get back here sooner than later to start my cool crops. Any organic granular fertilizer that fits your budget's going to work. Most of it's the same stuff anyway as the ingredients. And then a bag of alfalfa pellets. I like using alfalfa pellets because they provide a natural plant hormone that I think really does make a difference. Also low amounts of N, P, and K. Comes in pelleted form. Once this gets wet, breaks down into almost a fine looking sawdust, so don't worry about the pellets. And mice don't really come and eat this. I've had this in my garage. While mice would come and eat the sunflower seeds, they leave the alfalfa alone. So that's a worry people have that I really don't think you have to worry about. This is what it looks like when I'm putting it down. Nice, heavily handed, you know, dosing of alfalfa across the surface, and again with the organic granular fertilizer. You can mix this into the soil now, water it in. It's all going to break down into that fine sawdust, these pellets. That's all you would really need to do. But let me just talk a little bit about compost. This is my compost, my leaf grow, some bagged leaf grow, all well broken down, well composted. I don't really have to do something this heavy-handed. I could just put in a couple handfuls of organic granular if you really want to, or a lighter dosing, so to speak, of the alfalfa down there. If you're doing kind of a mix of compost and earth, and you just want to put more fertilizer into there, I would do something like that. More is not going to hurt if you want to be heavy-handed about it. Mix this in, water it in. I would do this about 30 days before you would start planting in there. If you wanted to, you could plant right away, but I just like things to kind of break down, get a lot of rain, soak it down, kind of get it prepped, and then I'm going to start planting in this really somewhere in that first week of March, a little bit early. It's the third week of February right now. This will set up the space. You don't need to come back and really do this again. Using compost, alfalfa pellets, granular fertilizer in the beginning of the spring, refreshing everything, setting it up, you're going to have a space that you can really plant and forget about, aside from weeding and general tending. If you want to add more fertilizer to this through the growing season, I really recommend fish emulsion, using a water-soluble fertilizer once or twice a month as needed. But this is the prep that I do for spring, generally speaking, across all of my earth beds and my raised beds. You know, once you put this down, I mean, it's just that easy. You just go ahead and mix it in just like that. Smooth it over, let it sit for about a month, and then you can plant however you want. Finger holes, drop in the seeds, do a row, drop in the seeds, but this will all be broken into a nice fine sawdust. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this gives you some confidence to maybe try out a no-dig bed. Also gives you ideas of how to refresh your earth beds, your raised beds. And if you're going to set up this fence, it works really well. 1, 2, 3 pieces of polycord going across. That will help keep the deer out, and hopefully you get more produce and share less with the deer. Thanks for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and also check out my podcast, Gardening Coast to Coast, that I do with Callie Kim, and you can find that in the video description. Thanks for watching.